Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. And if you haven't heard, for the month of June, Wizards is holding a special Pride event, where every legend that can be a commander has the partner mechanic. Just like in real life, where anyone can and should be able to have any partner they want. But starting us off is Mike on Bilbo Ratadrabik. This is a Sans Green sack combo list, using just the two commanders for infinite creature sacks as a win con. With his opening hand being an Ancient Tomb, Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats, Mana Vault, Tainted Pact, Intuition, and a Touch the Spirit Realm. Next up is Hidden Planet X, with Emory Lurris. And if this deck looks interesting, check out Fervent Alchemist's video on the deck, and props to him for winning his first Pride tournament with the deck. With Hidden's opening hand being a Hollowed Fountain, Flooded Strand, Forsaken Miner, Soul Ring, Grand Abolisher, Demonic Tutor, and a Phantasmal Image. In the next spot is Griffin with Stella Lothos. This is a Stella deck with added color support. It's fast, can win at instant speed, and with additional mana off Lothos, you can really win whenever. His opening hand consists of a Watery Grave, Tundra, Mystic Remora, Demonic Consultation, Savine's Reclamation, Mindbreak Trap, and a Deadly Rollick. And bringing up the rear is Noah on Nadu Breena, basically Legacy Nadu, giving the bird access to additional colors for tutors and combo piece. That can't be bad, right? Noah's opening hand is a Scalding Tarn, Cephalid Coliseum, Gaia's Cradle, Lotus Petal, Mental Misstep, Nomads and Core, and a Finale of Devastation.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
Mike starts off the game with an Arid Mesa, cracking the fetch for an Underground Sea, but shortcuts as he casts a Mana Vault. Hidden also cracks a fetch, as he plays a Flooded Strand, grabbing an Underground Sea, and casts a Soul Ring. Griffin plays a Tundra, and for one casts a Mystic Remora. But Noah has a response, as he pays 2 life to Mental Misstep it. Noah plays out a Lotus Petal, and then cracks a Scalding Tarn for a Tundra, also shortcutting, as he casts a Nomads and Core. Mike plays a Scalding Tarn and cracks it for a Plateau, which lets him cast his commander Ratadrabik, ending his turn there. Hidden shocks in a Hollowed Fountain, and for 2 mana casts his commander Emry, who resolves and mills a Phyrexian Altar, a Yawgmoth's Well, Command Tower, and a Scalding Tarn off the ETB, with Hidden using his Floating Colorless to Demonic Tutor. He debates just grabbing out a Jeweled Lotus for Lurrus, but settles on something else as he ends his turn there. Griffin shocks in a Watery Grave, and for 2 casts his commander Lothos, passing the turn after that. Noah on his turn plays a Gaia's Cradle as land for turn, and taps 3 for his commander Nadu. I say, got any response, Mike?
No response. Go ahead. Send the Force of Will to. I can't just sit here all game and not cast Nadu.
Yeah. Force of Will. I'll pitch this Phantasmal Image.
Sounds great. I'll pass my turn.
Mike untaps and takes 1. He plays out a Marsh Flats as land and cracks it for a Tundra, this time casting his other commander Bilbo. The commander resolves and makes Rata the Ring Bearer. Mike then heads to combat and sends 3 at Hidden. Hidden starts off his turn tapping Emry to recast his milled altar. The artifact resolves, with Hidden then following that up with a Forsaken Miner. This is his second spell as Griffin gets his treasure off Lothos. Griffin heads to his turn, and while he misses his land drop, he does have the 3rd mana needed to cast his commander Stella thanks to the treasure. Noah has a Cephalid Coliseum as land return and casts a Spellskite. Mike untaps and takes another one off his tap vault. He plays an Ancient Tomb as land for turn, and then takes 2 as he taps it to help cast a Diabolic Intent. He sacks Bilbo as an additional cost, which will trigger Rata to make a token copy, with Mike getting tempted again and making the token his Ring Bearer. But with the tutor still in the stack, Griffin free casts a Deadly Rollick to exile Bilbo, just in case Mike was trying to tutor up some interaction. There's another temp trigger with the tutor then resolving, with Mike finding a card to hand. Mike then casts his own Mystic Remora and triggers Lothos to make Griffin another treasure, but Mike is done after that. Hidden untaps and realizes he probably shouldn't have exiled his phantasmal image, as he misses his land drop and casts an Esper Sentinel. He then follows that up with a Diabolic Intent and sacrifices the Miner. He feeds a treasure to Griffin and a card to Mike. Hidden then goes searching, and unfortunately this is where the inexperience with the deck took over, as Hidden was looking for a combo piece and didn't realize Blood Artist was that piece, as instead he goes for the Jeweled Lotus play from last turn. He then casts the Lotus and feeds a card to Mike as he cracks the artifact to cast his other commander Lurris. Griffin is still missing lands as he cracks a treasure to help cast a Ranger Captain of Eos, who resolves and grabs him an Esper Sentinel off the ETB, with Griffin cracking his last treasure to cast the creature, which will then trigger both Lothos and Stella, who exiles a Fierce Guardianship off the top of his library. Noah heads to his turn and casts a Snap, targeting Griffin's Esper Sentinel. He gives everyone a draw, with the bounce happening, and Noah untapping 2 of his lands, with one of those being a Cradle, which will then let him recast his commander Nadu. This will give Griffin a treasure, but the bird resolves. Noah then starts activating his Nomad to trigger Nadu. He reveals a Gemstone Cavern, a Silence, a Tropical Island, a Force of Negation, a Flusterstorm, and a Seeker of Skybreak, and having refueled his hand, passes the turn after that. Although on Mike's upkeep, Noah starts activating for Nadu again, this time revealing an Eternal Witness, a Bloodstained Mire, Noble Hierarch, Ranger Captain of Eos, and a Vamp Tutor. Mike will then take 1 from his vault and pays for his fish. A Jeweled Lotus then comes out with Hidden drawing from a Sentinel. Mike then shocks in a Watery Grave, and with the help of his Lotus, recasts his commander Bilbo. This will trigger Lothos for a treasure. Next up is a Culling the Weak. Mike sacrifices Bilbo, who will return as a zombie, and be tempted, with Mike gaining 4 black mana, using 2 of it to cast a Tainted Pact. Mike starts exiling off the top, with his first card exiling being a Vamp Tutor. He knows about the Flusterstorm and actually stops there, hoping to try again next turn as he casts the Vamp, with Noah in response cracking his fetch for a Scrubland, as Mike then goes searching. He'll find a card to top and then ends his turn with a Touch the Spirit Realm. The enchantment resolves with Mike targeting Nadu, although Noah pays 2 life to redirect to the Spellskite instead. Hidden untaps, draws, and just passes the turn, with Noah activating Nomad's End Step to reveal a Noxus Revival, Thassa's, Mana Vault, and a Monodic Betrayal, with Hidden taking this opportunity to flash in an Orcish Bowmaster, although unfortunately the Nomads can redirect the damage to Nadu, keeping the creature alive. Griffin heads to his turn and on his upkeep cracks his Ranger Captain, to which Noah responds with a Silence. This will trigger the fish and Esper, with both Mike and Hidden drawing, with Hidden targeting the Nomads with the Bowmaster. Noah activates the Nomad and has a Nadu trigger. He reveals a Mystic Remora, with Noah then casting his exiled Fierce Guardianship. This will give a card to Mike, but Hidden had thought this was Griffin's second spell, as he misses the Esper Sentinel, with Noah having a Lothos and a Stella trigger. There's another point of damage onto Nadu off the Bowmaster, with Noah revealing a Savannah off the top. Griffin gets his treasure and exiles a Grim Monolith off the top with Stella. Noah then fires off a Force of Negation, exiling a Mystic Remora. Mike draws, with Hidden pointing a points of damage at the Nomads, with Noah at this point just activating the Nomads to get his last 2 Nadu triggers out of the way, revealing a Fell Warstone and an Enlightened Tutor. The Nomads will die, with Griffin then casting a Refocus. He lets Mike draw, with Hidden pointing a point of damage at Stella Lee this time. The table then realizes that's only his second spell, as he casts a Born Upon the Wind. Mike will get another draw, with a second point of damage pointing at Stella. The Born Upon the Wind resolves, with Griffin drawing a card. This will trigger the Bowmasters to put another point of damage at Stella, but responding to this one, Griffin casts his own Bowmasters. But wanting to keep his Orc, Hidden then casts a Mindbreak Trap. He feeds a card to Mike and points 1 more point at Stella Lee. This forces Griffin to tap his commander to copy his Fierce Guardianship to try and take out Hidden's Mindbreak Trap. But seeing as Griffin is now tapped out, Noah casts his revealed Flusterstorm. Although Griffin slams down a Mindbreak trap of his own, before Noah even has to figure out what to do with his Fluster. There are 2 Mystic Remora triggers on the stack, with Mike drawing 2 and Hidden finishing off the Nadu. Then the stack starts resolving, as the Mindbreak trap takes out basically everything that's not Griffin's own Refocus or Bowmaster. The Bowmaster will resolve and try to ping Hidden's one, with Hidden sacrificing it for mana to deny the Orc army. The Refocus then untaps Stella and draws Griffin a card, although Stella should have been dead from the Bowmasters before that actually happens. And finally the Ranger Captain sack resolves. But Griffin is out of mana as he hands the turn over after that. Noah untaps and plays a Field of the Dead as land for turn. This is his 7th land, which will make him a zombie. Noah then for 3 casts a Mononic Betrayal. He gives a card to Mike and Hidden, with the Bowmaster killing the Esper Sentinel and putting 1 point of damage on Lurris. But the Betrayal resolves, and here's where I'm going to fast forward, as this really could have been a long turn. The short of it is, Noah has a Mana Vault, and along with the Jeweled Lotuses in the grave, can recast his commander. He's also holding a Shuko in hand to get the combo started. And as he has a Field of the Dead for bodies, and access to plenty of counter magic, both in hand and in grave, the table just scoop it up rather than trying to play it out for the win. Game review. Man, Pride is powerful. These decks were sweet, and I've always wondered what would happen if you give extra colors to certain commanders. Well, and now I know, things get broken fast. Nadu already seems strong, and adding those white cards makes this bird go even harder. It really was cool to see Stella nearly get there, even with us knowing it was coming. I love seeing the sack synergy with Bilbo and Rata, and I think if the game had gone longer, I'm sure I really would have been able to drown my opponents in value, recasting my Bowmasters and Esper Sentinel. But question for the viewer, did you build anything for Pride? And if this game looked interesting and you want to see more Pride magic, let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank everyone who joined for the game, and before everyone leaves, I want to thank our special Patreon members, Slyfox, Tango Down, and Holy Septic for their support of the channel, along with all of our other Patreon supporters as well. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.